Hi everyone, welcome to ACL times two, the twin journey. We have our friend Sarah, who's in the States, back with us today because it's been quite a while since we checked in. So we just thought today would be a good opportunity to find out how long it's been, how it's going, and a bit more about your story, Sarah.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, so recap. So yes, tore the ACL and it was, about over a year ago now. It's like a year and 3 months. So I've had some time to heal and get back into things. And, my PT went really well. I followed that to the letter, which was great. I felt like I really came back and then I got myself back into something that was a little heavier. Got back, I kind of didn't go back to CrossFit,
Hmm.
but because that's what I was doing before, I thought that might be a bit too harsh. So instead, I kind of got into something a little easier that wasn't too much. So got into more exercises, a lot of strength training on my leg. It's funny because the knee, in order to rebuild it back, I had to concentrate on the quad a lot. So a lot of quad work, a lot of calf work, and a lot of balance, which is really interesting. So I did a lot of that, which was really good. But that conservative kind of path that I took, decided not to go the surgical route at all. Haven't revisited the idea, just completely went through this whole training protocol with a PT. And that was really much a sort of a bracing protocol where the knee was held at an angle and then over 6 weeks, and then was able to take it off and then doing all that PT. So that was the only approach I used. And that was quite good. I found it really helpful. Psychologically, I felt strong again. There were some things that I didn't feel great about. I felt knowing I don't know if I have my ACL, right? So this is the other thing. I haven't done a follow-up MRI
Okay.
to this day. Yeah, I do plan
You
on
intend
doing one.
to? You are okay.
Yes, I do plan on doing one. They said that you should wait at least 6 months. And then from what I've read in the literature, it says that not only that's when you can kind of see it very thin. And I thought, well, what's the point of getting an MRI right now? I
Yeah.
might as well build it all the way because what information is that really going to give me? If I can make it really strong and keep putting that strength training through it and all the rest of it, maybe then it'll be thicker and then it'll be even easier to see. So
Yeah.
that was kind of my theory. And so I've spent more time. And they said usually around 12 months, you'll have a very good view of whether you've grown it back or not. So I do intend on still checking on that. So we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, it's been, kind of that, like I explained, I'll go back to what I was saying about the psychological aspect. Knowing I don't or I might not have an ACL has really changed the way I do competitive sports. So I have gone back to most things, but I'm still, because to recap, I like the idea of doing soccer. I played with a lot of my kids. My kids are soccer players. Jiu-jitsu, they're also doing jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. And then I also did kind of heavier sport like CrossFit. And I have signed up to a high rocks competition still.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still doing that. And then when it comes to things like skiing, I've decided to kind of pull back a little bit. So
Okay.
soccer, I've kind of taken a step back from. Muay Thai, sorry, I also forgot to mention I was going to do a little bit of ice hockey, which is very hard on the legs and the
I
ankles
think
and the
all I
knees.
think all your sports require a strong ACL. Even
They all
jiu-jitsu.
do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, very extreme sports.
Yeah.
I like things with a challenge, I think
Theme. Maybe
things that
we'll
I can drill, yeah, push your body a little bit and
that's
say,
great.
who's getting older? Not me.
No,
So,
we get that.
yeah. So, going into that, so just to go back to that, I did do a lot of sort of extreme sports that I kind of did pull back on some just for now. I think once I've realized, like I said, I do that follow-up MRI and just see where I'm at, I
Yeah.
think I'll feel more confident. So again, psychological issue. I don't feel any difference in my knee. I run perfectly fine. I run quite long distances. I deadlift quite heavy weights. I haven't gone back to my PR because I am trying to hold back a little bit. So I'm trying to be careful on that holding back. But just things like that, I'm just more cognizant of where I was at. So kind of gives you an idea. But I am very happy with my decision at this
Yeah.
point. I am really enjoying how it feels, how it looks. I am concerned about the long-term results, whether I'll get arthritis, and I know we get those kinds of things we have to worry about anyway as we age. So as a result, I'm very much heavily concentrating on how I prevent that. I work when I eat, I do a lot of bone broths and collagen that I cook myself, and I do kind of a long process where I get those collagen and meats and in my daily diet. So I do a lot of that, a lot of good vitamin C, things like that, and you know, bioavailable calcium, and there's all these kinds of things that I'm doing that I'm hoping will set me up for a good, journey to aging, which is, attacks
Sure.
us all.
Uh-huh.
Can't escape it. So yes, I'm still doing that, but yeah, no, it does feel good. And like I said, I will be planning on getting into that high rocks competition, which is to explain to those who may not know what that is. It's like a CrossFit competition. It's quite a strenuous, a lot of running, strenuous competition where you go against other teams and you do a lot of running, and then you can share things like wall balls and other kind of strenuous, long, very drawn out activities, which do require a lot of stamina. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
which are great. I mean, I love
Yeah.
them. It's a good mind over matter
Yep.
kind of test as well. So yeah, still going to do that. And I feel very confident about it. I've been training for that, and cycling's been great, rowing's been great. I do the ski erg, which I don't know if you guys know what that is. You might
No.
not have that. It's just basically a machine. You hold these two things and you pull them down quite hard. So you end up getting a lot of upper body cardio.
Yep.
Yeah, so things like that, and that, but still requires you to bend your knees and kind of pop up, and
Yeah.
so still a lot of knee work. But yeah, so it is sad to think that I may not go back to skiing.
Yeah, because you love your skiing
Um,
and you used to do quite a bit of it, didn't you? And look,
I
you live in
did.
the perfect place for it, and
Yes, living in Colorado, it's kind of part of the course, it's just what you do. My whole family, my kids have been on skis since they were one, like almost two,
Mhm.
and they are very good at it. And I got really good, so I didn't learn till later in life. I was probably late 20s. And that had a lot to do with, we just didn't have ski mountains where we grew up in far north Queensland. So
You get it.
you just didn't do it, right? And so even when I was in Sydney, I didn't end up going down too much. I think I went and tried it out one time and I was like, yes, not my thing. I'm good doing
Mhm.
après, which is
Yeah.
basically sitting on the mountain and just watching everyone ski.
Enjoyable part. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's funny as time went on, and it's interesting to note that I got very, I guess, confident in my skiing and really pushed myself. And I started doing things like jumps and tricks and things like that. And coming down, I would say that I would ski at probably an expert level. Confident on blacks, double black scared me a little bit depending on the terrain because that's kind of ungroomed
Yeah.
and very expert level of skiing where you can come across quite high cliffs and things, and it's very taxing on your body. You have to make very quick decisions, and you're kind of going through the trees, and just to give you an idea, so they're very sharp turns, and very sometimes deep moguls. Moguls are the bumps. So
Hmm.
that you have to be very good at, really using a lot of core strength and a lot on your knees again.
Yep.
So when I think about that, I don't know if I'd be able to ski at that level again.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
if I did, I think it would be a very high risk and
Absolutely.
very yeah, not a good idea. So do I want to be caught on the mountain again,
Mm.
with my kids or, whatever? And I just didn't, I thought to myself, I don't want to have that risk. So it was, I don't know, I haven't completely ruled it out. I might still go skiing. The funny thing about all of this is when I go skiing with friends, they couldn't ski at that level. So they'd say, well, let's just stick to the blues and greens. And I'd be like, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'll see you later. I'll see you at lunchtime, and off I'd go with whoever. But now it might just slow me down a little bit and, keep me with my friends. So it kind of gives you a bit of an
Well,
overview.
you still may be able to enjoy it for what but just skiing looks different, maybe look different for you going forward if you want to go back to it. So it's no longer an extreme sport, perhaps. Well, you've got enough extreme sports going on. I don't know if you need another, but
Well, I just bought another dirt bike actually. So
okay. Look, well, look, I think you've got your high risk stuff going on, your extreme sports.
apparently I'm an extreme sport person.
Yeah,
I'm like, I
okay,
don't think so. Take it easy. And the people are like, not compared to the average
exactly. That's what I
woman,
do.
mother.
Yep, yep,
So I'm like,
absolutely.
all right, fine, I'll take that.
Yep, yep. Oh, I mean, that's great. I mean, obviously, it sounds like it's all gone as well as it possibly could have. Obviously, I'd be intrigued to know how your MR goes and how the ACL is looking. But yeah, certainly it hasn't stopped you from doing any or doing much at all, which is fantastic.
No, not at this point. But like I said, holding back mostly for psychological reasons. I am a mother, business owner, I'm very active. The thought of being in a bed again for 6 weeks or, I wasn't completely always in the bed. I think I spent in bed for like a week or two, but even that was too much for me and it was very hard. So that idea of doing that is just enough to keep me being safe and, being a little careful and
Yeah,
holding back.
nothing wrong with that. Yep.
Mm,
Oh, fantastic. Well, I think that's probably everything that we wanted to cover, and that's great news and happy to hear. So, yeah, we'd love to follow up again in the near future. So let us know when you've had that done, and we can certainly pick up where we've left off today.
absolutely. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Good stop.